Hello students, today we will see the management accounting part, and in that one first I would like to discuss ratio analysis chapter. So let's see what is ratio analysis. So ratio analysis means analyzing through ratio or using ratio for the purpose of understanding or interpreting or drawing an inference from somewhere. So we can use different ratios for the purpose of understanding the condition of a business entity and to understand the relation between the situation of of an organization and the ratio which is represented through books of accounts. Using the figures in books of accounts, you have to understand what is ratio and how many ratios are there and how these are used. So at first there are four types of ratio which suggest different aspect of the financial position of a company. Like the first one is liquidity ratio. Liquidity means the ability to convert assets into liquid money. That means ready money, near money, and which can be accepted by anyone as a payment. So the ability to convert quickly your assets into cash can be understood by liquidity ratios. Again, the second one is solvency ratio. Solvency ratio suggests the ability of a company or a business firm or a business house to repay their debt. Again, the third one is activity ratios. That means how the operations are going on, and to understand the efficiency of operations, we can see this ratio. And for the purpose of understanding the profitability, we can analyze the profitability ratios. So one by one we will see all the ratios. So let's start from the first one, that is current ratio. So current ratio suggests what is the excess of current assets over current liabilities. To understand this ratio and importance of this, you have to understand what is current assets and current liabilities. So those assets which can be converted easily into money or in any other acceptable form is called current assets. So current assets include only those assets which can be converted or are being converted regularly into cash. So current investments, inventories, but excluding loose tools and spare parts, trade receivables, that means bills receivables or your debtors, cash and bank balance which are already in money term, and short term loans and advances which are given to other persons, and other current assets which can be easily converted into money. So these components consist of current assets, and current liabilities are those liabilities which may have to be paid anytime. So short term borrowings, trade payables, other current liabilities for short term provisions. These liabilities are short term in nature and may arise at any time, and it may also not be delayed. In fact, it is not delayed for more than some months or 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, because your supplier can give you credit for 1 to 3 months, but not more than that. Even 1 month is enough. So if we compare current asset to current liability, we can understand what is the current ratio, and if all the assets, if the all the liabilities has to be paid at any time, so uh, then what will be the situation, and how can we convert current assets to pay such liabilities? So this ratio suggests how much the ability of a company to pay immediately its dues. So it's very important because it will decide your reputation in the market, and this ratio is favorable when the ratio is 2 is to 1. That means current assets should be double of current liabilities. Again, the second one is quick ratio or liquid ratio. This is calculated by dividing quick assets by current liabilities. Now here quick assets is different from your current assets in terms of inclusion of inventories and prepaid expenses. Inventories, that means raw material inventories or finished good inventories, are not sure to be converted into cash very quickly, because raw material will only be bought by the same kind of producer who are making the same goods or supplying the same goods. Then why will they accept from you as you are seller of those goods? So at that time it will be seen that it has to be sold at a lesser price. And prepaid expenses, suppose prepaid rent or prepaid salary, can never be realized in terms of money. So only you can take the service of that prepaid expenses, but you cannot realize money from those assets. So prepaid expenses and inventories are excluded from all current assets. Then we find quick assets, that means quickly convertible into money. So those assets which are quickly convertible into money divided by current liability, we will get this ratio should be at least 1 is to 1, because at any time if liability all the liabilities arise at one time, or all the creditors bills payable all are becoming due at any time, then also uh, the organization is liable to pay them immediately whenever they demand, because in this way they will be able to avoid any loss of reputation. So this is called quick assets, or we can say liquid assets by current liability. So only two ratios are there in this one, current ratio and quick ratio. Again, solvency ratio, that means how much is the solvency of the company, how debts can be paid immediately. So debt to equity ratio is the first one in this series, and debt to equity suggests how much loan has been taken to finance the assets, or how much equity share capital or owned capital, owner's capital has been used. And it should be less than 1, that means debt is should not be more than equity. Debt should remain in a limit, maybe maximum half of the equity shareholders fund. That will be good for the company. Debt includes long-term borrowings, long-term provisions. Equity shareholders fund equals to share capital plus reserve and surplus. Here you have to always be careful, because it is shareholders fund, not only equity share capital. So reserve and surplus is included in that. So debt means only long-term borrowings, which will include debentures and long-term provisions like redemption, provision for redemption on debentures, that means debenture reserve, debenture redemption reserve, all these are added with this. But provision for bad debts is a short term provision, so it is not added with it. So you have to here differentiate between long term, short term provisions. And equity shareholder funds will include preference share and equity share and reserve and surplus. Otherwise, you can use one more formula, that is non-current assets plus current assets minus current liability. That means working capital. So non-current assets plus working capital minus non-current liability. That means fixed assets minus fixed liabilities, and you add the excess of current assets over current liabilities, then you can get the owner's fund. Because you are reducing, you are subtracting non-current liabilities from non-current assets. So here you are getting what is the excess of non-current assets over non-current liabilities, and then adding with it working capital, you can get owner's fund, sorry, debt capital, and tangible assets plus intangible assets plus non-current investment, long-term loans and advances plus working capital minus long-term borrowings, long-term provisions. When you will make some sums, you will understand it better. Let's understand first the theory part. So proprietary ratio is shareholder funds equity by total assets. So it represents with respect to total assets which have been financed. With respect to that, how much has been financed by shareholders equity. Suppose the total assets is 10 lakh and shareholder fund is 8 lakh. That means 2 lakh of the assets have been financed by debt capital. So here you can easily understand, if total assets are financed by the shareholders fund, then it is not as good. So it should be less than 1. So total assets equals to non-current assets plus current assets, that means fixed assets plus current assets, and which is equal to tangible assets plus intangible assets plus non-current assets also. That means investment plus long-term loans and advances plus current investment plus inventory, including loose tools and spare parts because they are also part of the assets. Trade receivables plus cash and bank balance, short-term loans and advances plus other current assets. Again, debt to total assets ratio, that means with respect to total assets, how much is the debt. So at last, if somebody has to pay all the debt, then we have to see whether after selling all the assets, they will get that much amount to pay the debt fully or not. So it is very important ratio. So debt to total assets ratio, it is clear with the name. And interest coverage ratio, that means net profit before interest and tax. That means NBIT, that means profit before paying interest on debenture and income tax. Income tax. So including the interest and tax and divide it by interest, we can get how much interest of debenture is being covered by the net profit earned by the company. It is very important because anyone has to see whether that much net profit is at least available or not, which is covering the interest on paid on debentures or long-term borrowings. So we will finish this class today on these two ratios, and we will see other two ratios, two types of ratios in the next class. Thank you.